Mr. Joe Race, for saying, Munch, you know what? I know you're involved in the community a lot. I know you're involved with the food bank, University Settlement, St. Augustine Hunger Center in Cuyahoga County. Why don't you get the women on from Feed Kids First? So with us in studio per Joe's prodding is Kristen Sedmock and Stephanie Zuick. I'm not afraid to say her last name, Stephanie, although it is a tongue twister. It is a tongue twister. You know, and I'm looking at your website, feedkidsfirst.org. This is frightening. This is just scary. And you're a kid in school. These are supposed to be formative years, learning, but having fun and playing. And if there's a day off of school, you shouldn't have to worry about not eating. But I'm looking here that 1 out of 4 children in Ohio live in a household without adequate access to food. And even 3 out of 4 teachers say children come to school hungry on a regular basis. That is devastating. That's crushing. That breaks my heart.
So true. You know, our kids come in, and some of our kids have lots of barriers. And so if this was one of the things that we felt very strongly about when we began Feed Kids First, was about starting an organization where kids could have unlimited access to food. So when Stephanie and I first met, How
did you meet?
So I was an elementary principal in the Canton City Schools.
Fantastic.
So yeah, down at.
Now, I'm not trying to butter you up, but teachers are my heroes.
So yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
They're mine now too,
Oh.
actually. So shout out to all teachers, right? But Stephanie was a volunteer, and because I had a pantry in my school, and so it was just one that we started in the community, and different organizations and churches would donate, and so that's how I met Stephanie. She was affiliated with one of the churches in town, and so then she would come in and help volunteer at the pantry. And then COVID hit, and then we decided, why don't we do this? Why don't we start a nonprofit so that we could help more than just one school?
Right.
And so that's kind of how we started. And then along with we have 2 other co-founders that began the organization with us. And so the 4 of us came together and we opened a nonprofit. And today we now have, we just opened our 18th food pantry.
Unbelievable. In Canton and all of Stark County, right?
So right now we service most of the schools in Canton City and all of Massillon City. And so our goal is to reach out to, you know, as we get more funding, be able to reach out to other districts in the Stark County area.
Kristen and Stephanie joining me from Feed Kids First. Before we forget, and we'll hit this a few times, how can people donate, whether it's cash, whether it's groceries, whether somebody's listening now in a food distribution warehouse saying, you know what, gosh, I've got a truck left over of mac and cheese. You know, what can I do with it? How can they get a hold of Feed Kids First?
Yeah, well, there's lots of ways that people can donate. And so we have a Venmo. You can go to Venmo Feed Kids First. If you want to give a cash donation, you can go onto our website, which is Feed Kids First. And there's ways you can sign up to actually come in and volunteer in person.
Fantastic.
So there's lots of different ways that people can give. Some people organize and hold food drives for us, and then we bring the food in. So there's lots of different ways people can get involved.
Now, Stephanie, you touched me earlier telling me some things that I mentioned to you that snow days, some kids may not have an adequate meal. Weekends on occasion. Christmas holiday, you know, you have to have a Christmas break. I mean, that's part of being in school. I still try to get one, okay? And they won't give me one like when I was in school. But you still have to think, don't you? You have to be a little worried that, my gosh, will these kids have adequate food? And you've done something just marvelous to alleviate that concern.
Yes, and the reason why we came together and started Feed Kids First was for that very reason, to fill the gap. There's a lot of great organizations out here that work hard to make sure the kids in our community are supported, but there's still a little bit of a gap, especially over the holiday time when the kids are gone off of school for the 2-week period of time, weekends, you know, even throughout the week as well. So we've tried to come together and really create critical access points within the schools to be able to help those kids and those families be able to be supported. Our big initiative right now that we just are getting ready to wrap up is our holiday meal box program.
What would be in this holiday meal box?
Oh my goodness, we had, I believe, 27 various items, and some of the items
27.
We put multiple items in. We try to do a variety of healthy snacks, things that the kids can open, and eat on their own if they are home alone. We try to do breakfast items, lunch items. We also try to do some meal type items for the families as well. So they get actually a 40 40-pound box of food.
Wow, that's so cool.
It is amazing. We had 11 partners out in the community throughout the month of November collecting and doing food drives for us. They collected over 8,000 pounds of food. And then Feed Kids First, we also reach out to our community partners after that, and we will purchase the remaining food that goes into the box. We are very strategic about what goes into the box. And so we get a nice 40-pound box of food that goes out.
That's a lot of food.
Yes. While it's a 2-week gap.
Yes.
And then we bring volunteers in to help us deliver the food and unload the food. I believe since November, we've had over 400 volunteer hours. We had over 100 volunteers coming in. Our hub is down at Compton Learning Center. And we filled 800 boxes of food for these kids at 13 schools.
Have they been distributed yet?
We are just working on that. We've gotten about 500 boxes of food out into the schools. Today is our last day.
So you're in here, but then you're going to go right out and get the rest of the boxes?
Yes. Yep.
God bless you.
Yep. And so today we'll wrap up, and then this is the last week of school, so the schools will go ahead and distribute those to their students and their families.
Now, I've got to ask you, either one I want to take it, and going to throw you like a hard fastball in here, but I know you can hit it out of the park. What do we need to know that's important about Feed Kids First that we may not know? Some reasons, other reasons why you do this, and how people could just get involved on a bigger basis.
Well, I think that Feed Kids First, a couple things. One, we fill the food gap for our families and our students. I also think that it's a way for also our kids to give back. So a lot of our students in some of our schools, they also come in and they help volunteer so they can get service hours.
I'm sorry, but this makes them feel part of it too, like they're doing something at a young age. And I have to tell you something, volunteerism is good for your heart. You know that?
So yes, exactly. Yes. And so it's a way for them to give back.
Wow.
And it's not really, it's never a hand out, it's a hand up. And so if we can help families so that way maybe alleviate some of their costs for food, then they would maybe have money to pay other bills in the home. So I think the other thing too is that it's very emotional and overwhelming when you see the whole community come together and wrap around.
It tugs at their heartstrings.
It really does. Yeah. It really does. And also, when families receive, they are very thankful. And so, it just, if you're helping somebody and you're making a difference, it's for a good thing. Also too, I think it helps our students perform better at school.
There's no doubt.
So healthy minds, healthy bodies, healthy minds. And so, at the end of the day, that is our goal. We want our kids to be taken care of and have health and wellness.
Do you know something I see, and this is for the groups I volunteer with, is that, parents, they'll come in, it's like, wait a second, the kids are dressed nicely, the parents are dressed, they're not, in tattered or anything like that, clothes are clean, and so parents will pull me aside and say, you know what, we both work, and we both work minimum wage jobs, so by having a meal or getting a meal or two from an organization like you, we can save a few bucks, maybe take the kids to a movie, take the kids to an arcade or do something like that. So you're enhancing the quality of their lives also via food, but also freeing up money for other things.
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very good. Now, is the 800 boxes that you're going to distribute, is that enough?
Well, it's never enough, right? But
I like that.
It's never enough, but I think it's a good start. And in addition to the holiday meal boxes, we also do summer meal boxes. So in May, we'll be going through this whole process again. So that way we can send food boxes home with our students over the summer. But
summer is a little bit longer than Christmas break. Do you have periodical drop-offs in the summer, or where they get picked up, or not really?
Right now, we just do the summer meal boxes that happen at the end of the school year.
Okay.
But we do also help different organizations that run summer camps and things like that. So we work with them as well.
Fantastic. Kristen Sedmak, Stephanie Zuick from Feed Kids First. Please help them. feedkidsfirst.org, whether you're making a contribution of food. I know that a lot of bakers have some day-old bread or things like that. They'll gladly take it. Heck, I lived on day-old bread in college, okay? Tomato sandwiches, as we all improvised at one time. But the bottom line, please help them, okay? No kid. I've told you that before. My dad, a former Marine, kind of a tough guy on the streets and tool and die maker, impressed on me at a young age. No one in this country should ever go hungry. especially no kid in this country should ever go hungry. Stephanie, Krista, I can't thank you enough for coming out in your time, and really, you're angels for doing this, for bringing about Feed Kids First and making sure it comes through.
I just want to also say one last thing. Thank you for having us. And this community is really honestly the best.
Special
This
people
is a
here.
very special community, and everybody has stepped up, embraced us, wrapped their arms around what we're doing, and we couldn't be more grateful. So
Let's
thank
keep
you.
rapping then, right?
Yes. So thank you again. Yes. Thank you so much for having us. And again, we could not do this without the entire community. So we want to just thank everyone for coming together and supporting us.
Appreciate you so much. Stephanie, Kristen, feedkidsfirst.org. Check them out in a big, big way. And let's feed kids first. Mark Bush Bishop in for Pam Cook. Jim Michaels is up next, talking at the top of the hour. Don't forget, in the 8 o'clock hour, our DC Insider, John Decker, will join us. Then at 8:45, this is going to be a treat. Caleb Johnson, the lead singer of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He'll check in and tell us about their concerts the day after Christmas in Rocket Arena. They've been doing it for almost 30 years right here in Northeast Ohio. You're listening to 1480 News Talk WHBC.
WHBC AM Canton, trusted, reliable, and part of the community. Brought to you by Friends and Family Credit Union, providing financial needs to all of Stark County.